Hello, and welcome to the Media Center's 9th Local Hero Awards series, in which we showcase 5 people from the Mid-Peninsula for outstanding achievement or contribution to the community. We solicited nominations and were especially looking for the unsung heroes. Each winner is an inspiration, and each has a great story to tell. Peter Fortenbaugh can check every box on a high-class resume. 2 Ivy League degrees, consultant at a top New York firm, senior VP in a Silicon Valley startup. His career trajectory was taking off. But somewhere along the way, he changed gears. These days, he spends his time rather differently as executive director of the Boys and Girls Club in East Palo Alto. The only thing that remains the same is his success rate. Since taking the job, the club has received many national awards and now has over 2,000 active members. In a community where the school dropout rate is notoriously high, the club has a 90% graduation rate among its members. You might be tempted to ask, how did this guy get here?
I was very fortunate growing up in New Jersey, and I was given lots of opportunities. And I became aware very early on that a lot of my peers didn't have those same opportunities. And it's always just kind of gnawed at me a little bit. I've always wondered, how can we, make the world a little bit more fair? It's very idealistic. I remember the Fresh Air Fund used to advertise in the New York Times, and I was always, my goodness, these kids don't even have a chance to go to summer camp. But yeah, I was going down to the shore and having this amazing summer. It was a very exclusive town. Everyone who had been there for multiple generations. So it was very much a situation of who your parents were and who your grandparents were. And a lot of the families there brought help. They had help. And all the help were African American. They all wore uniforms. And my grandparents were no different. They had 2 help. But it was obvious to me that here they were the ones doing the work, but they were sleeping in the basement.
So fast forward to now.
You see it tremendously here, unfortunately, in Silicon Valley, where we live. But you see the opportunities that my kids have in Palo Alto are wonderful, and I'm so happy for them and proud to provide them with those. But yet, you see the families who are struggling in Eastern Menlo Park or Redwood City or East Palo Alto, 4 families per house, and just struggling on day by day.
So between your personal life and your job, there's a gap.
So between my personal life and my job, there's a tremendous gap, and I see it every day. My mission is just try to bridge that the best I can, to be part of the solution, hopefully, to level out our society just a little bit, if possible.
I'd like to see, just for contrast, if for nothing else, a day in the life when you were a high-end consultant versus a day in the life at the Boys and Girls Club today.
Yeah, it's very different. My last company, where after a deal, while a deal was in process, we went out to dinner afterwards, and the conversation was all about stock options, and I need more stock options, and this isn't fair. I'm not, he's got more than me, and I felt very lonely there. I want to be part of a team that was mission-driven and was trying to make our community a better place for all of us. Day in the life of a consultant, and it's very self-driven. You worry about your career and you're focused on yourself. Now at the Boys and Girls Clubs, it's a place where there are greater needs, but it's more real in the sense of the needs are more immediate, and it's working on a solution that's bigger than yourself. It was tough at first. There was a lot of people who distrusted me. I've got a first-hand lesson in how we're all the same. People are all the same. Everyone talks about sort of the rich and the white being prejudiced and stereotyping, and there's a lot of truth to that. I see it. But I think sometimes some of the low-income folks may stereotype the rich as well, and I see that quite a lot. There was a lot of resentment towards me coming in. It was a lot more difficult than I expected. Certainly professionally, it was the most difficult thing I had done. The first couple of years where I just asked myself, why, this is crazy. I don't need this. But at the end of the day, it was what I cared about. The coming in part was much harder than I thought, but it's been more rewarding in the end, even than I thought it would be, to see the changes that we can make, to see how we're able to change lives, to see the potential that exists in these young people we're working with, to see that all they need is just some opportunities. It's also been harder in the sense of the challenges that our families face are greater than I was appreciative of. I believe we can make a difference. We see it all the time. What these kids just need is a chance. They need opportunity, they need relationships, they need someone to believe in them. And at a place like the Boys and Girls Clubs, they can get that sense of belonging, that sense of safety they may not have at home or anywhere else. And if they can just come to the club and for 5 hours have a chance to be a kid, to feel warmth, to feel love, to feel hope and opportunity, and then also get help with academic skills so they can succeed in school, that's often the spark that they need. So then they can go on and take advantage of the opportunities that may exist for them. So about 6 months ago, I was diagnosed with melanoma stage 3A, so it's metastasized, which is serious. The statistics aren't real great for melanoma. Fortunately, research is improving. What's interesting to me, though, or what I've always had a very strong sense of mortality, and I don't know why. I've always thought that every day is a gift. When this happened, it was very peaceful in the sense of I was very much at peace that there's nothing I would do differently knowing that I have this. If I had to go back, I don't feel like I've wasted the last 13 years. I feel like I've been doing everything I wanted to do. It's just reaffirmed to me, this is where I want to be. This is what matters. I'm not some random VP of business development or some random lawyer, plugging in hours who can be displaced or replaced by someone else. And so this is just a reminder, and I've been working as hard as ever through this because this is what I care about.
You have just seen here, live and in person, the incredible, heartwarming, earth-shaking, hard-working, homework completing, honor roll making, community serving, role modeling, high school graduating, PhD earning, job creating, tax paying, budget balancing, global warming stopping, peace spreading, cancer curing, 100% totally inspiring 2015 BGCP Youth of the Year.
The most rewarding thing at the end of the day is knowing that we are leading an organization that is impacting a lot of kids' lives and is, in some small way, making Silicon Valley a great place for all families to live.
Do you know someone who has overcome significant hardship and has an inspiring story to tell? Someone who has sacrificed or given over and above to the community and deserves some recognition.